It's time, baby. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Casual Report special episode. First ever trailer analysis. Obviously, doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Game Awards trailer. Listen to me. Summer Game Fest trailer. Sorry, Jeff, mate. Speak to any of my friends. I'm a theory whore with this game. This is my most anticipated game that's on the horizon with a release date and we know about. Do you know what I mean? When I saw the trailer, you probably saw a reaction to it. I'll link it somewhere if you didn't. We were buzzing. I was buzzing anyway. I didn't give a fuck about them lot. I was just like, give me a release window at least. I know we've got winter 2023 this year, but give me a sort of narrow it down a bit more for me. And we got early 2024, which could be January, could be March, but it is what it is, mate. So lo and behold, we're just going to watch the trailer today. I'll run through it all. Welcome to the lecture. Do you know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. But yeah, if I miss anything, by all means, just let me know what's going down. If you have any of your own theories that I don't touch upon, which is likely because this can be quite broad. So, in the sake of sitting here till about 3 weeks next Thursday, I'm just going to stick to, relatively speaking, the contents within the trailer and not branch too far wide, because we could just be sat here for weeks, like I said. Before we get into it, I should say, spoiler warning. I'm just going to assume you played and watched, listened to, read Final Fantasy VII in its entirety. Be it the original game, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, Final Fantasy VII Remake, just all open, mate. The book, I don't touch on the books, I've never read them myself, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is. Right, should we just crack on? Because I just can't. I can't. I'm going in. Right. Are you ready? Let's go for a ride.
We're still here at the scene of this terrible disaster caused by a massive tornado.
Already you see certain characters they look not very well, I'll say, but they look dead. Do you know what I mean? They look like Leo Barrett. Poor Teeth is there. Not alive, I'd say. If I look at she's just motionless.
Search and rescue operations are already
or Red, or Nanaki, some people like to call him. And then you've got Aerith there. Who's missing? A few things here, right. Go back a bit. Right. We know this is bollocks. Right, because we played Remake and we emerged from the singularity, which is, I don't know if you heard on the newscaster person, tornado they talk about, which is somewhere
Search
here.
And rescue operations are already in progress.
Bear with me a second. There's a wing. Swear to God. There's like a frame of it somewhere. Is it before that? Go further. Sorry, everyone.
We're still.
Is there? Beg your pardon. It's at the beginning there. There looks like there's the tornado from the VII Remake. Yeah, obviously. Right.
We're still here.
Now, the reason I think this is bollocks, like I said, we saw the team emerge from Midgar unscathed, but alive, walking down the highway. An intermission, they hitch a ride with looks like Chocobo Bill, go into the Chocobo farm to then go to Calm or to the way, whatever, doesn't matter. Eventually end up in Calm, right? But here, the party looked dead.
Amidst the wreckage
Now,
of the
how is that happening?
expressway, search
Here
and
you
rescue
are. Well,
operations
if you're watching this video, you probably already know that. Do you know what? Let's just crack into it, right? So, everybody, you're familiar probably with the timeline theory, right? So this line indicates Final Fantasy VII OG, as we like to see. Yeah, everything from Crisis Core to Before Crisis, reactor missions, emergence from Midgar, so on, right? If I say OG, right? So, the end of 7 Remake, you find out that Zack, lo and behold, you think it's like a flashback to Crisis Core, you think it's a nice homage. If you never played 7, you think, who the fuck is this guy with black hair? Look really, really like Cloud. Because the revelation of Zack comes much, much later in the original game. But this is, for those that don't know, protagonist of Crisis Core succumbs to a unfavourable fate, I'll say. He dies just on the outskirts of Midgar, getting Cloud there, which is how Cloud gets to Midgar. Ends up in Avalanche, and off you go, right? So, as Crisis Core's here, so he probably dies around here. So that scene is there, right? So, spoiler, again, you've been warned. Just do one if you don't want spoilers at this point, as this is revelation number 1. I've already said it, but you've been warned. I'll give you a few seconds, turn the video off. Perhaps if YouTube's done the auto-play thing and somehow I landed on this video for some whatever reason, I'll have no idea, but I'll give you a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, boom. Right, Zack dies at that point. He gets murdered in cold blood by the Shinra soldiers on the outskirts of Midgar. But this scene, we call it the Terrier timeline, because those that played 7 Remake will know, all the way through. Stamp, the Chimera lapdog mascot dog thing, is a beagle. And in this scene, it's very in your face. Stamp is a terrier. This is the scene. I mean, I'm just going to show it. I'm going to get told off my square, I think, but I don't. It's the name of the lecture. So he's dead at this point in the original game. And that sort of explosion seems to be what's going on around Midgar with all the timeline fuck-ups. That he should not be alive here. But this is this point. So this is him alive and off he goes. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's all. We're having 2 timelines. I hear you what. But we're not though, are we? Because at this point, there's going to be, remake timeline as well. There's the timeline where certain people know certain things. If you played the original Final Fantasy VII Remake, Aerith knows what's going on, mate. So this is Zack alive. I'll call it Zack alive, mate. Alive timeline, and you've got a remake. All that shit there, yeah. It should probably be in a different order, but it doesn't matter. And you've also got here as well, because certain people are alive at this point who shouldn't be alive. Like this person here. I was getting mixed up. That's Wedge, I think. Or is it Biggs? I was getting mixed up. How dare I? Fake fan, mate. But anyway, he should be dead as well. Which is a spanner in the works, because you think, what's going on? I wouldn't be, like I said to my mate, I wouldn't be into this as much as I would be if it was just a carbon copy remake. I just wouldn't. Don't know. I've gotten rid of it. It doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter. Go back to the trailer. So they're all dead. They'll appear to be dead. And then... So my theory is that what we've just saw, I'll say theory, that is this timeline here. Zack's timeline, yeah? Call it timeline blue, mate. That one can be timeline red, because it's Rebirth Red, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? So my assumption is, you saw it in the other trailer, where Zack was carrying Cloud to Midgar, said, we're almost there. Again, throwback to it, he doesn't get that far. Cloud just sort of crawls to Midgar. You don't really know, I don't think you really know what happens, but yeah, that's where we are. Yeah? Do you know what I'm saying? So you assume, in this timeline, all the way down here, Sephiroth has had a word and gone back here, changed things, and, carries on, yeah? Which causes Zack to be alive in an alternate sort of line, and obviously the remake line as well. However, what we'll say is that the next scene, see the party here, all fine and dandy, all alive, all with Cloud.
Wow, just look at it all.
And I've got to say,
so green. Even after
I've got to say,
everything we've done to it, it's still going strong.
It may look that way, but in reality, it's barely hanging on.
It looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, where is it there? I enjoy some foliage, mate. Like, gameplay is king, and always will be. But it is what it is, mate. And this is so nice. And these makes the point of these windmills in a second.
What's Cloud been doing?
Not the windmills, actually. I'm going to go back a second, because Tifa's talking some shit here you need to listen to.
I was wondering, what's Cloud been doing these past 5 years? Where's he been? And you're asking me this? This is gonna sound crazy, but as far as I know, Cloud was never in Nibelheim 5 years ago.
So, the unreliable... He's not got a clue, has he, Cloud? He hasn't got a clue at all. If you played Crisis Core, and by extension the original game, you should know that Cloud was in Nibelheim, but he was a grunt in a helmet, so Tifa didn't see him. She only saw Zack, Sephiroth face, I believe. Everyone else was a soldier under a helmet. And she under a helmet, you know what I'm saying? But when they get to Calm in the original game, he talks as if he's in Zack's shoes because of he was shooting the Mako poison because he was captured by Hojo, who is evil scientist. You've seen him if you played Remake or the original. Looks like a mad scientist. And he's going mental on him. And he fucks him up, which is why Zack has to carry Cloud from Nibelheim back to Midgar. But like I said, Zack unfortunately doesn't make it. Or does he? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so in the original game, Tifa doesn't question this until much, much later. Much later. Which is really strange. She just sort of lets him tell their story, and she just sort of sits there. I was hoping they'd do this. And it's chocobos, by the way. You know what I'm saying? All these commands I can't see it, probably not. Let me change there we go. But my face is covering it, so I'm fuming. No. It doesn't matter. You can see it sprint, dismount, scent, and scour, so you can do some stuff on the chocobos. I imagine you can have a sniff around, find things, have a scour about, do what you need to do. Should we crack on a bit further, just a smidge?
Years ago.
If I go back just a touch, sorry, I need to get the TV bit out of the way. This original bit here. This is them emerging from Calm. As you can see in the top right corner there, it looks like a castle. Sorry, the thing just above Cloud's hand is a Let's point it at the screen then. Like a sort of a castle kind of texture on the wall, which is the outskirts of Calm, if you will. Do you know what I mean? So I imagine one of the first differences is that because Calm, you just sort of go in, sit at the inn, Cloud tells a story, come out and go round to the Mithril Caves. Past the Mithril Serpent, which I hope's in this. I fucking hope's in this. That would be so cool. Perhaps you can see Sephiroth doing it. Do you know what I mean? Let's carry on.
Just look at it all. It's so green. Even after everything.
The windmills aren't in the original,
it's still going
but they are.
strong.
It may look that way, but in reality,
Mate, I'm
it's
just.
barely hanging on.
I can't even count this. Crack on a smidge more.
I was wondering, what's ago?
The live stream.
Now, this
It is
isn't Bugenhagen's planetarium at Cosmo Canyon. If you played the original, this is Red 13's grandfather, or Nanaki's grandfather.
the very essence of our.
This is the guy I was waiting for, because with all the timeline shit, this guy's got to know exactly what is going on. If you play 7 Remake again, you sort of, if you listen to Aerith line, you sort of get the gist what's going down. Yeah, a bit more.
The blood coursing through its planetary veins.
Just talking about live stream there, as you can probably tell. People annoyed that he's not on his beach ball, because in the original 7 he looks like he's sat on a beach ball and he's just rolling around. I think it's just his trousers, and it's the polygon 3D effect.
Veins.
But I think that is either 2 places for me. It's the Mithril Caves, which is just after Calm, which you come out of Midgar, down the thing, bang. There's the Mithril Caves. Or it's the Cave of Gi, which is underneath Cosmo Canyon, which you go and learn about Red 13's dad, who was a very brave warrior called Seto. I had to dig for that. I think I'm right. But anyway, whatever. Carry on.
According to Hojo, they're connected to Sephiroth. Shadows of the Man, I believe he called them.
So he's talking about the party there. I think people thought that was Vincent, but I really, really think that's Rufus. If you go back and listen to it, and I think in the Japanese version as well of the trailer, that is Rufus's voice. But this one, it is this one. This is a scene in Final Fantasy VII Remake where Hojo remembers Cloud. I just
no matter. Reinforcements will soon arrive.
But will they get here in time to save you from me?
Why are you a soldier?
So Hojo he realizes the characters in the hoods, got the Harbingers of Fate, who sort of control the timeline, which in the original game, when Cloud and the party were veering off course, like meeting Aerith too early, or certain people were were to die who shouldn't be dying, they would reconfigure the timeline, make it correct, which is what the tornado was at the end of 7. I can go into the tornado forever, but go into the tornado and, that's where everything just box up, and then Cloud and everyone kill the Harbingers of Fate, so kill Destiny, I guess, if you want to call it that. And that's when this remake timeline comes into play. But that OG timeline is like a constant. But I still think, even with this new timeline, I still think you're going to hit the same thing. So it's going to be Calm, Mithril Caves. Oh, how rude of me! I've got to look this up. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. Right, Mithril Caves. Junon, of course. Junon, the boat, the cargo boat, and it's Coral, Etuk, and so on and so on. Blah, blah, blah. I still think you'll hit certain things. I don't think this is going to be like, right, we've got rid of Destiny, we're going to do nothing that's going to think it. But again, more beautiful foliage and some nice things, and interesting. You can call it Chocobo. So that's cool.
Sephiroth was in Midgard.
This is Calm, I believe.
We fought him. Whatever happened, he's alive.
Fans of the original, again, would know that Sephiroth just fucks with Cloud, because he tries to get him to where he is, the northern crater, so he's bouncing around these Sephiroth, I'll say disciples, guys in the hood. I think it's Marco in the remake, and the guys in the hood just go, reunion, them people. He jumps through there originally. Well, so I believe anyway, but I could be missing the point completely. If you got all the ideas of that, let me know. But this is where they come out of Midgar, crawls Chocobo Farm, then to Calms, have a night at the inn, and Cloud tells his story.
Why come back now? After 5 years, doing who knows what?
So Sephiroth fucks with Cloud.
Well now, think we woke it up.
And this is added to the Mithril Cave as well.
Feast your eyes on the Turks.
First shot at Elena, who has a striking resemblance to Tifa's model, by the way. Not that I mind that. But it is what it is, mate. Carry on.
Latest and greatest, Elena.
She may be new, but she's still a Turk.
And again, I'm sorry, you can see the bottom right corner. There is the new layout for the UI. So characters in a row, all the health bars, which is relatively low. I'm trying to get hints of how much health I've got at certain parts of the game. If this is the Mithril Cave, this is still relatively early, so this is about right. But it's interesting to see that they reset the team health and stuff, which is just, I want to carry on myself, but it is what it is, mate. All looks relatively similar, just a different sort of design on the outside. The only thing is the little indents underneath the bottom right corner of the name. They look like it's going to be a team attack thing. Let me just carry the trailer on just for a second. So fucking badass, mate. They're so badass. Oh, mate. There, here. Right, this bit. Let's go back a bit. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, this isn't a million miles away from Midgar, because you can fucking see it in the background there. I don't know if you can make that out. Here, it's just there. Cloud's got his operator mode. It seems similar to the original remake with everything, but the summon materia seems to be in this command menu there. I don't know if you can see that. which is interesting. I'm sure it's just an added bit of something, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, this must be the first hour. Do you know what I mean? I always thought you were going to start in the flashback and then just work your way that way, but the game might make you get to Calm first, then do the flashback. But I always want to start there because that would have been so cool. Carry on. And this hands of the original. Well, no, this is Junon. It was fantastic. Like, yeah, as you know as well, here this is starting to see some nice foliage because, like, as you go out of Midgard, it's just a desert because they've sucked the planet dry. It's like a dry sack of balls, mate. You know what I'm saying? But here, I can't believe this is real, mate. This is Junon Cannon. This is sort of the way to it. I think there's stairs. Is this still in? It's not even uploaded in 4K. What a bunch of losers. The bitrate's horrendous as well, but yeah, there's stairs this right hand side here, which lead up to the Junon town and to the Fengi, to the cannon. As you can see on the cannon, I've put the big one on for you. That's what she said. Just above the cannon on the top left hand corner, you can see the high wind, which. Oh, mate, that gets you going big time, mate. I'm not sure how much of the high wind you're going to see in this game because I don't know. I'd like to say probably near the end you'll get it and stuff, but I think throughout the course of the game you'll get all the characters, all the playable characters that are in Final Fantasy VII OG will be in this game. Whether they'll all be playable or not is a different question. Do you know what I mean? Because right at the end of the remake, part 1 is Red 13 is not playable. It's sort of an assist, which is what it is. You know what I mean? If you got to make Sid an assist or Kate Sif or Cat Sheath, sorry, however you say it, an assist, be my guest. Just get the fucking game out. I need it now. Yeah, so this is a more action, mate. But let's zoom in a bit. Final Fantasy X fans rejoice, because this is going to be quite special. As you can see, top bottom right corner, you can see Red 13 Cloud Barrett there. You can see Red 13 hauling ass. You know, I'll just play a bit more of it for you. You've seen it before, I know you have, but oh, beautiful. Anyway, but in the shot, I don't know if you can see that. Far right hand side of this shot, Aerith is there. She's not listed here. And mid left-ish, Tifa's there. Don't know if you can make that out. Who aren't there, so I'm hoping you can just switcheroo, just like you can in Final Fantasy X, which is one of my favourite things about that game. But you can swap the party out willy-nilly, which, with the dual attacks, which you'll probably see in a second, yeah. How fucking cool is that, man? As you can see further back, sorry, back again. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't go over this, mate. Yeah, so here, Yuffie and Red 13 party, Aerith and Tifa are here, which are swapped out from Barrett and Red. I'm looking for them in the background. I'm also being cheeky and looking for anyone else in the background as well, in other characters, but I can't see anyone. Here as well, the HP is quite high, so aside for a debug thing, all this is very late in the game. Late-ish in the game. Depending on how high you level up and how much HP goes up and that. Love that, mate. This is the cargo ship after June. Oh, is it from June or no? The timeline. I've got so many timelines in my head. Before my, yeah, so after June, Shimmer cargo ship. This is where you find Yuffie gets seasick. Oh, he's a bastard, isn't he? Sephiroth there talking mad shit about Genova. Yeah, we all know he's fucking with Cloud again. She can work her magic, mate. That's another part. I think this is from Zack's timeline. I think this is what happens to Cloud when Zack's alive. Because, like I said, if you go back to the start of the trailer, where everyone dead, Cloud isn't there. Yeah, there's all the party. Lost their lives. And if you played Intermission, there's a ending scene there with Zack again. Let me just play it for a second. This is AM Harbinger on YouTube. Thank you very much for the footage, mate. I appreciate it. Just a play. And obviously, this is way past Zack's sell-by date, if you will, because he should be long gone at this point, but he should be gone at this point. It's good, mate. He's in disbelief as well. So that's the yeah. After that is before the writing, there is a feather, which do love a feather. Final Fantasy VII. Do you know what I'm saying? Probably Sephiroth, but I'm going to come back to that theory in a second. Yeah, like I was saying, that's Cloud. I assume it's in Zack's timeline. That I mean, that's what happens to him. Perhaps Zack goes and gets help, and Cloud becomes a Sephiroth druid or whatever you want to call them. And he walks off, and he's obviously walking to the North Crater to where Sephiroth is. And like the whole mission, or the Sephiroth's first goal in the original Final Fantasy VII is to get Cloud to give him the black materia, to then resurrect him or rebirth him. You know what I'm saying? Which is potentially why, because a lot of people thought this might have the rebirth would have ended when at the City of the Ancients, where Aerith, spoiler, lost her life to Sephiroth. But then Cloud nearly kills Aerith with. Do you know what I mean? Sephiroth's fucking with him, mate. He just hands him the black materia. He just kicks off. That's when the planet comes in, and I think I'm of the party where this game ends at Northern Crater. So you've just handed the materia to Sephiroth. He's just fucking come back. The planet's kicked into safety mode. Called all the weapons diamond, ruby, emerald. Is there a sapphire? I think there is. I can't remember. But you just move. And yeah, and then I think that's because when they first revealed Rebirth, it went on about how trilogies and the middle one's always I think the most fucking exhilarating, and it sort of ends. This will end when all hope's lost. So Northern Crater is that. So Sephiroth's just come back, party on the knees and everything. Wait a minute. Wait. Where's my pen? Here's my pen. Wait a minute. So if OG's happening, yeah, and Zach's alive here. He goes off. I'm going to say he's going to be playable in some form or another. Because what's the point, eh? What's the point? Give us Crisis Core Part 2, kind of. Like, give us another fresh take on that. I hope he gets a party, but it would be like a nice throwback to Crisis Core to have him on his own. And then in this timeline, where the party kind of, because they pass each other on the bridge, if you remember, but they're not in the same plane, so they can't see each other. But Aerith knows, and Zach knows that they've just passed each other. What if? Stick with me now. The end of this game is the Northern Crater, which is Team Northern Crater, hashtag let's go baby. The remake lot get there. We call it there. It's not, my ball's not long enough to go there. And Zach gets there, and there's another singularity kind of thing, and the timelines merge into one. And that's where revelation comes in, or revengeance, or reconnaissance, or whatever the fucking third one's going to be called, comes in. And Zach joins you there, right? Because I still think Eric's going to die. I just don't think it'll be where it is in the original game, and I do think the player will be given a bit of hope and a bit of rope to say that, you know, she's still alive, mate. She's still going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden, bang. Like, because you've got to hit them certain things. You've got to go to Junon. You've got to go to Golden Saucer. You've got to go to Cosmic Canyon. Aerith has to die, in my opinion. With it being Rebirth, let's carry on just a second.
You murdered my...
Because this is part of the Khan flashback as well. There's Tifa goes for some reason. Whatever, I don't know why, but Tifa goes after Sephiroth. Let's see what happens.
You burned my village!
You know that I killed her. So, who is she?
Now, the fucker, and Sephiroth thinks he killed her. Or does he think he killed her? Because he likes to play games of Cloud. So, do you know what I mean? Because we all know, you play Crisis Core, you play the original Final Fantasy VII, Tifa's not dead. Right? She's not. Is this Sephiroth fucking with Cloud? Is this going to be like Chinese whispers? Because Tifa's not going to believe Cloud, because Tifa doesn't believe Cloud was in Nibelheim because she didn't see him. Like, Sephiroth's not, and so on and whatever. I'll bring you back to the original trailer.
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
Already, the cracks are starting to show. Because I think for a little while in this game, Cloud is going to believe that Tifa's dead. That Sephiroth is sort of controlling some kind of corpse. It's going to be Genova and... Wait a minute. Yeah, I always assumed that... I have another revelation, I'm sorry. I always just assumed that Sephiroth was the one that was fucking about with the timeline, but what if it was Genova that was... Wait. So... Yeah, it could be Genova. Do you know what I mean? Be mate. Yeah. So I just assumed Sephiroth sort of went back to his past consciousness and did some timeline shit here. Do you know what I mean? And just cracked on with it. But what if What if it was Genova that sort of is manipulating the timeline? Because you imagine Genova's got the power to do that willy-nilly, whereas Sephiroth, I'm not sure. Well, he's very powerful, and but will be Genova. This fucking So we assume this is the end of the game here. Further down there, way down there, where Meteor's cast, Holy is done, bang, save the planet area. Thank you very much. Perhaps Genova was still alive for a bit. She killed her type. I want to submit it. I know I am. So Genova sort of realizes here that time's a loop or something, and goes back and sort of alters a few things. That's very basic. If you Google Final Fantasy VII Remake Timeline Theory, there's like a decent one that sort of goes into everything. This is very basic, and I've got to go to bed in a minute. As much as I'd like to, I can't sit here and theorise. I'll theorise all day, mate. There it is. And last thing, right? The logo's right. This is like the other stuff in this video. I feel like I'm onto something, or like collectively as a fan base, we're onto something. But that logo being red, like a red tinge to it, and I think they want us to sort of lean into the idea that Sephiroth is reborn, rebirth, but they just brought out Crisis Core. The logo's red. There's a feather. Sorry, where is the feather? Here. Oh, it's not. Beg your pardon. Bit back. Bit back. There, mate. I've probably led to believe that's one of Sephiroth's feathers, which probably is. But what if it's one of Genesis' is? Oh, yeah. What if they bring Genesis back? With his little display and all his thing. I've got one with a wing. So there he is. There's his wing. He's got a wing somewhere, mate. You know what I mean? I know that one sounds like stubborn. I said Genesis Reborn. And then if you do bring Genesis back, does Angeal come back? I'm just, you start to get a bit mental with it. But yeah. There you go, early 2024. That's people seem to be losing it on the 2-disc thing, but I think it's because it's going to be high-res textures and stuff. I don't think it's going to be... I'd be surprised if the game's longer than 50, 60 hours. Do you know what I mean? It seems to be open world as well. It seems to be more of like a Final Fantasy X sort of linear kind of open world. Do you know what I mean? With the illusion of the openness. Perhaps an open area kind of thing. But yeah, that's the trailer. Sorry about that, everyone. It's one of my favourite things to do ever, to theorise about Final Fantasy's... What's this? Oh, it's a fucking Final Fantasy 16 demo, excuse me. But thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. If you have any kind of like add-ons or potential theories that you want to bring forward or whatever, put them in the comments and we'll have a chat. I love theorising about it. Join the Discord. I'll link it in the comments. Follow us on Twitter. All the guys on Twitter. We'll discuss anything about anything, mate. Honestly. We'll be back next week. Top 10. I think Bish is going to come on and do his top 10. If not, we'll do a show. We'll sort something out. Back to listening to me ramble for 45 minutes. Appreciate that. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, theorise everything you can, and by all means keep it casual. See you in a bit.